What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, man. We're going to do another bird's eye view comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S10, which is still a pretty new phone. It was just released like 2 months ago, and the very newly released Samsung Galaxy A80. Now, if you're unfamiliar, Samsung has not only their S series phones, their Note series phone, but they also have a whole separate series phones. And one of the earlier ones was the Samsung Galaxy Alpha, and that was one that I reviewed last year, I believe. And that was a very decent phone, I'm not gonna lie. For the price and for, the specifications inside of it, it wasn't that bad of a phone, at least for the release price. But the Samsung Galaxy A80 is pretty much the step above that. That phone, the Alpha, was released in 2014. This one is released literally today. It was just announced, but it's not actually released until May 29th. So this is why this is a bird's eye view comparison. And normally I wouldn't even do a quick comparison between a phone that not really many people know about, but the Samsung Galaxy A80 is one of those phones that I think more people should know about. And even though technically it's supposed to be cheaper than the Samsung Galaxy S10, I think there's a lot that the Galaxy A80 brings to the table, just like its design, as you probably already know. But let's just go ahead and see what the differences are between these two. Now, in terms of the way they look, you might be surprised that on the front, the Galaxy A80 might look a little bit better than the Galaxy S10. You can see that there's no front-facing camera sensor on the Galaxy A80 compared to the S10. But the interesting thing is, and this is the most notable thing, is that the back of the phone is actually, apparently it's motorized, and the front camera is actually the back camera, but the back portion comes out and it flips backwards. So the back camera becomes the front camera, and then if you want it back, I'm assuming you click a button or something and it goes back down. And that in and of itself is a crazy feature. The Samsung Galaxy S10 does not feature that, but I feel like I would be super scared of the A80s if I had to constantly do that back and forth. I'm sure they tested it. I'm sure it's completely safe. I'm sure you can do it thousands of times without having a problem, but it's just one more thing. But I think the A80 on the front looks a little bit better, but apparently, and this is only from images that I've seen, the bottom bezel of the A80 just looks a little bit thicker than the Galaxy's S10s. The A80 almost looks as thick as like the Galaxy S9's bottom bezel. Now again, not many people have used this phone in real life, so there's really no way to verify that, so we'll just probably wait until the real thing comes out and I'll probably end up getting it. In terms of the screen sizes up front, the Galaxy S10 has a 6.1 inch dynamic AMOLED display. It's 1440p, where the Samsung Galaxy A80 has a 6.7 inch Super AMOLED display. That one is 1080p, and the PPI is also higher in the Galaxy S10. Now this is what I'll say, the Galaxy A70 screen is probably the same size as the S10 Pluses, but the prices between those two are completely different. The Galaxy A80s is obviously a much cheaper price tag, and from what I can tell, I'm going to assume that the Galaxy A80's display is not going to be bad at all. It's going to be very, very sharp. I'm surprised they didn't put a 1440p panel on it, but I guess it's whatever. But there's no doubt the Galaxy S10's display is going to be way sharper. It's going to be way better overall than the Galaxy A80's, since it is just a 1080p display, but 1080p displays are still very, very good, so we might be surprised with the Galaxy A80's display. In terms of software, they're going to run exactly the same thing. In terms of longevity, I assume they're going to have the same exact Android version support, but there could be a possibility, and I've seen these with A series devices from Samsung before. Sometimes they'll only support it for like 2 versions of Android, so that might be a thing they might end up doing. I have no idea yet, so that is one thing to keep in mind, whereas the S series, they usually put 3 full versions of Android on it, so the one it released with and then 2 more versions after that. But like I said, Samsung might be expanding their longevity of their phones now, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see for that as well. Now, in terms of the specifications inside of it, the Galaxy S10 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 640 GPU, and 8 gigs of RAM, where the Samsung Galaxy A80 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 730 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 618 GPU, and 8 gigs of RAM inside of it as well. It only comes in one storage variant though, 128 gigs, which is awesome. I love that, but I wish it was higher. I guess they could have put a bigger size storage in it, and it could be on release date, but this is all we know right now. And I'll definitely say in terms of performance, the Galaxy S10 is obviously much better spec'd, and these aren't supposed to be like side-by-side comparisons. Like the Galaxy A80 is not supposed to like take over the Galaxy S10, like you're not supposed to upgrade to it, but it is kind of interesting to see in different markets, because the Galaxy A80 is supposed to be on like the Asian market side of things, but the S10 is like way more popular in the Americas, especially United States. So in terms of performance, the Galaxy S10 will definitely win. But here's the thing that makes the Samsung Galaxy A80 such a weird transition. I don't know why they did this. The Galaxy A80 does not have a micro SD card slot, which is very, very strange. I don't know why they would do this. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see for the main release, but as far as we know right now, it does not come with a micro SD card slot, which is kind of a shame. So now moving on to the camera, I kind of talked about it early on in this video, but like I said, the big selling point and the biggest feature of the Galaxy A80 is the fact that the back comes up and there's actually like a flip out camera, but it's just the back camera transition to the front. I don't even know how to explain it. But here's the weird thing, okay? The Galaxy A80 has a 48 megapixel sensor as the main sensor, and there's also an 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor. So I don't really know why they did that, why they had like the main sensor be so high and then like a kind of a small ultra wide sensor. Usually it's like flipped, but I guess it's whatever. I think that's super awesome. You know, at least they're giving those type of features to a different market, so that's awesome. The Galaxy S10, as you guys know, you probably already seen my reviews on it, but it has 3 cameras on the back, 2 12 megapixel sensors, and a 16 megapixel ultra wide sensor. So like I said, usually they put the ultra wide sensor as having more megapixels, so it's kind of funny that they flip-flopped here. In my opinion, I will probably still end up giving the edge to the Galaxy S10 because megapixels are not everything, and the fact that the ultra wide sensor on the Galaxy A80 is smaller than the regular sensor, there could be some issues there, but it's unsure as of this point. The Galaxy S10 can shoot 4K at up to 60 frames per second. The Galaxy A80 can shoot 4K at 30 frames per second. So that is a pretty big difference right there if you're into shooting 4K and stuff. But the front camera on the Galaxy A80 is obviously the same thing as the back. The Galaxy S10's front camera is 10 megapixels though, and honestly there could be a thing here where you could make the argument that the Galaxy A80's front camera is better, but because the Galaxy S10 has a dedicated front camera, I mean, I'll probably still end up giving the edge to the Galaxy S10 here, which is no surprise. It's supposed to be a better phone because it's more expensive and everything, but I do like the motorized pop-up camera thing they have going on. I think that's definitely a cool little feature, and I wouldn't say it's a gimmick, but it's kind of a cool transition. I don't see phones in the future taking that feature into their main phones. I mean, we've already seen like the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 and all these other phones having different style pop-up cameras, but the fact that this one is motorized, it just seems like it's one more thing to break in my opinion. They both take USB Type-C. In terms of the battery sizes, interestingly enough, the Galaxy A80 does have a bigger sized battery, so it is 3700 milliamp hours, where the Galaxy S10 has a 3400 milliamp hour battery. Again, you know, it is a bigger phone, so you should kind of give the edge to it. And honestly, from a bird's eye viewpoint right now, I would probably say the Galaxy A80 will probably have better battery life because it's a lower spec, has a lower resolution screen. Even though it is a bigger screen, I still want to say that the Galaxy A80, because of the mix of that and also the bigger sized battery, will probably end up lasting longer than the Galaxy S10. But the Galaxy S10 not only has a pretty decent battery life, you know, 3400 milliamp hours is not bad. On my usage, I still own mine. I think it's very good. There's a really cool feature with the Galaxy S10 where you can do reverse wireless charging. Now, I'm unsure if the Galaxy A80 has wireless charging because from my spec sheet, it does not say so, but I don't want to say it does or does not as of this point because I don't want to be wrong and give you guys wrong information. But the Galaxy S10, that reverse wireless charging thing is an awesome little feature, and the fact that they're probably going to end up putting this on a lot of other phones and other phone manufacturers are going to copy that too is just such a cool thing, and I cannot wait for this to actually happen. And that's pretty much it between the quick bird's eye view comparison between these two. Like I said, once the Galaxy A80 comes out, I might end up getting it. I know it's usually a little bit harder to get it in the United States, at least for Samsung Galaxy A series. I'm surprised I got the Samsung Galaxy Alpha. I went to get the other Samsung Galaxy A series phones from like last year and the years before, so I can go make updated reviews and double ISOs on those too. So wish me luck on getting those, but that is pretty much it. I'm super excited for the Galaxy A80. Like I stated before, I don't know if the Galaxy A80's technology is going to go and like totally revamp Samsung. Like I don't think the Samsung Galaxy S11 is going to incorporate this. Now, I could be totally wrong. This is just my opinion, but because that's just such a huge thing for them to develop and manufacture, I think they have a pretty decent thing going on right now where Samsung just, you know, puts the front camera sensor on it. They have the whole display. The market is already comfortable with it. They're already making a ton of money off of this design. So it really makes no sense for them to go and like push one more part into the phone that they have to manufacture. They have to go get the supply chain, get all these different things. And in my opinion, it's just one more thing to break. That motorized sensor could easily just snap or whatever the case is. I'm sure, like I stated before, they've tested it and everything, but I just don't know how I feel about that specific design. I know with, like I stated before, the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3, the Oppo, whatever other phone there's out there with the sliding mechanism thing, those are manual, so you actually slide it yourself. I actually want to get one of those because I feel like it'd be a great stress reliever. But in terms of the way the Galaxy A80 is designed, I just don't see it taking off to the market. I could be wrong. It kind of reminds me of the Oppo Find A1 phone or whatever, that one from a long time ago with the swivel camera up top. But that's pretty much my opinion on that, and that's pretty much my viewpoint on a quick comparison between these two. If you guys do have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Let me know, would you rather have the Galaxy A80 or the Samsung Galaxy S10? I'd love to know your opinion. Hit that like button if you guys like this quick little comparison, but definitely hit that subscribe button, dude. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.